Hi, good morning, all my friends. Hey, it was really nice to meet Andrea from London. Great chatting with you, and I hope that my videos were helpful to you. And if you have any questions or you want to ask me some more stuff, please leave me a comment. I'd love to chat with you some more. It was good to get to know you a little bit better. And I encourage all my subscribers, please write me something about yourself. I really would like to know who you are and who's watching me, and anything that I can do to help you in your walk and with the Lord. And I have a willing heart to do that for you. What else? I'm putting a link to this video of my honey Juliana doing her signing, and there's captioning underneath so you can understand what she's saying about an upcoming event that her company is doing. And I just thought you'd like to see, the other side of my life, if you will, and what I'm doing and what she's doing and that kind of thing. And I think she did a really good job, so I'm so proud of her. And her life story is just remarkable. And she's talking about a film that she did, and we're going to be airing that through her company's fundraiser. And so she explains about it a little bit in the video, and I'll let her do that. And what else? If we could just all remember that we're all from the same source, that each of our souls are the same color, that we are all no different on the inside, but just on the outside, and that we need to make a place for everybody in this world. We are to share this planet with everyone. And why do you think God and his angels have gathered us all together in the United States? Even though it's been tumultuous, it's been a hard road in the last 200 years in the United States. But why has he gathered us all together? If you would just stop and think about it. Because we are to show the rest of the world how to live properly with love and respect for each other, and making a way for everyone to enjoy God's gifts to us. And we are made to enjoy what he's given us, but also so that he can enjoy us, and we are made in his image, and so he enjoys that and delights in us and loves us unconditionally, truly loves us. And all of our little quirks and so forth, our flaws, our character, he loves us, and he can't help but love us. And through all this great book that he's given us, he's shown us a way to be free. Okay? And so that's why I'm reading the Bible, to help you and help you in your daily walk. All right? So, and it helps me as well. And I'm starving. I haven't eaten anything. I'm trying to do something a little different. Speaking of that, please, please, please know that I'm so cognizant of the fact of what I say does affect people now. And so when I mentioned the diet that I was on called the Shepherd's Diet, I also put a disclaimer in other videos. Please don't buy that book. It's not worth it, the money. It's a ripoff of the ketosis diet, which I didn't know about when I had mentioned it in passing. And I didn't realize how it affects thousands and thousands and thousands of people. It seems to be the #1 topic of YouTube, is how to lose weight and makeup for some reason. So please know that I am, yes, I have lost weight by cutting out sugar and flour, eating a little bit of meat, a little bit of carbs, which vegetables, anything that's not meat is carb, and satiating fats. Jeremiah 31:14 talks about satiating fats, by the way. So it is biblical, and but you can't do it for long term. So disclaimer: be responsible for yourself, and do check with your doctor. Do check to make sure you're doing things correctly for yourselves. Okay, I'm not endorsing or supporting any diet or any other person, or or how to do it. That's not what I'm here, and that's not what I'm about. Okay. All right. So chapter 40. In the 25th year of the captivity, beginning of the year, the 10th day of the month, in the 14th year after the city was smitten, in the selfsame day, the hand of the Lord was upon me and brought me thither. In the visions of God brought he me into the land of Israel, and set me upon a very high mountain, by which was at the fame of a city on the south. And he brought me thither, and behold, there was a man whose appearance was like an appearance of brass, and a line of flax in his hand, and measuring reed, and he stood at the gate. The man said unto me, Son of man, behold, with thine eyes and ear, and with thine ears, set thine heart upon all that I show thee, for to the intent that I might show them, and to the art thou brought hither, declare that thou art seeth to the house of Israel. Behold, a wall on the outside of the house round about, in the man's hand a measuring reed of 6 cubits long, and by cubit in hand breadth. So he measured the breadth of the building 1 reed, and the height 1 reed. Cubits, if you will, okay? And a hand's breadth, okay? So hand size, okay? And then he came into the gate, and he looked, so he measured the building, the reed, the height with 1 reed. And he came into the gate which looked toward the east, and went up the stairs thereof, and measured the threshold of the gate, which was 1 reed broad, and the threshold of the gate, which was 1 reed broad, and every little chamber was 1 reed long, 1 reed broad, and between the little chambers there were 5 cubits. Threshold of the gate by the porch of the gate within was 1 reed, and he measured also the porch of the gate within 1 reed. Then measured he the porch of the gate 8 cubits, and 2 cubits, and then the porch of the gate was inward. And the little chambers of the gate eastward were 3 on the side, 3 on and 3 on that side. There were of 1 measure, and post in 1 measure on this side, and 1 on that side. And he measured the breadth of the entry of the gate, and the cubits, and the length of the gate 13 cubits. The space also before the little chamber was 1 cubit on this side, and the space was 1 cubit on that side, and the little chambers were 6 cubits on this side, and the 6 cubits on that side. And he measured the gate from the roof of 1 little chamber to the roof of another, and the breadth was 5 and 20 cubits, door against door. And he also post of 60 cubits, even unto the post of the court round about the gate. And from the face of the gate of the entrance into the face of the porch of the inner gate were 50 cubits. And there were narrow windows to the little chambers, and to the posts within the gate round about, and likewise to the arches, and the windows were round about and inward. And upon each post were palm trees. Then brought he me into the outward court, and lo, there were chambers and pavement made for the court round about. 30 chambers were upon the pavement, and the pavement by the side of the gate, over against the length of the gate, was the lower pavement. And he measured the breadth from the forefront of the lower gate into the forefront of the inner court without 100 cubits eastward and northward. And the gate of the outward court that looked toward the north, he measured the length thereof, and the breadth thereof, and the little chambers that were 3 on this side and 3 on that side, and the posts thereof, and the arches thereof. And after the measure of the gate, the length thereof was 50 cubits, and the breadth 5, and the 20 cubits. And their windows, and their arches, and their palm trees, and the measure of the gate, and it looked toward the east, and they went up unto it by the 7 steps, and the arches thereof were before them. And the gate of the inner court was over against the gate outward the north toward the east, and he measured from the gate to gate 100 cubits. And after that he brought me toward the south, and behold, a gate toward the south, and he measured the posts thereof, and the arches thereof according to the measures, and there were windows in it, and in the arches thereof round about, like those windows, the length was 50 cubits, and the breadth 5 and 20 cubits. And there were 7 steps to go to it, and the arches thereof were before them, and it had palm trees on this side and the other on that side upon the posts thereof. And there was a gate in the inner court toward the south, and he measured from the gate to gate toward the south 100 cubits. And he brought me to the inner court by the south gate, and he measured the south gate according to these measures, and the little chambers thereof, and the posts thereof, and the arches thereof according to these measures. And there were windows in it, and there were arches thereof, and there was about 50 cubits long, 20 and 5 cubits broad. And the arches around about it were 5 and 20 cubits long, 5 cubits broad, and the arches thereof were toward the outer court, and the palm trees were upon the posts thereof, and the going up to it had 8 steps. And he brought me into the inner court toward the east, and he measured the gate according to these measures. And the little chamber thereof, and the posts thereof, and the arches thereof were according to these measures, and there were windows therein, and in the arches thereof round about it. It was 50 cubits long, and 5 and 20 cubits broad. And the arches thereof were toward the outward court, and the palm trees were upon the posts thereof on the outside and on that side, and going up to it had 8 steps. And he brought me to the north gate, and measured it according to the measure, and the little chambers there of the posts thereof, and the arches thereof, and the windows to it round about, and the length was 50 cubits, and the breadth 5 and 20 cubits. And the chambers and the entries thereof were by the posts of the gate, and they were for the burnt offerings. And the porch of the gate were 2 tables, and on this side, and 2 tables on that side, to slay thereon, and burnt offerings, and sin offerings, and trespass offerings. So he's talking, the description of this whole thing is the temple, of what it should look like. And in the porch of the gate, and then the side without, as one goeth up to the entry of the north gate, were 2 tables. On the other side, which was at the porch of the gate, were 2 tables. And he keeps going on and on, explaining about what the temple looked like. Okay, I'm gonna jump here real quick to from 41 to 46 here real quick. And he said to me, the chamber whose prospect is toward the south is for the priests, the keepers of the charge of the house. The chamber whose prospect is toward the north is for the priests and the keepers in charge of the altar. These are the sons of Zadok among the sons of Levi, which come near to the Lord to minister unto him. So he measured the court 100 cubits long, 100 cubits broad, 4 square, and the altar that was before the house. And he brought me into the porch of the house, and measured that each post to the porch 5 cubits on this side, 5 cubits on that. And the breadth in the gate were 3 cubits on this side, and 3 cubits on that side, and so forth. And he brought the steps whereby they went up to it, and there were pillars by the post on this side and the other side. And that's the end of chapter 40. And just explaining how the temple looked. And I believe that there's a picture of what it looked like somewhere in my Bible here. If I find it, I'll put it in the next video. Anyway, you have a great day.